Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel once again. Right, so today, pretty successful really. You know, you have those jobs that just lie about the place. Little niggly jobs, don't take that much time, but they're always in the back of your mind. You think, oh, I've got to get that done. So I've been trying to catch up with some of them today. First one is this job here. So this is a Volkswagen flat 4 crankshaft and flywheel. And what we do on here, one of the mods is, you can't see very well because I've got the nut on there, holding it on at the minute, but you see they've got the 4 dowels. It's got one nut in the middle that holds it on, and then you've got 4 dowels. Well, one of the things they do on this is put 8 dowels in. So what I do is I set the flywheel up on the milling machine over there, clock the center hole that the bolt goes through, and then from the back, I go from the center 20 mil out, 4 ways, and drill 7.5 mil, M8 reamer down there, and then we put the flywheel on to the crank with the original dowels where they should be. I mark TDC number 1 on the flywheel, and then I drill and ream from this end into the crank. The dowels are probably about 12 mil long, so I do them about 6 mil deep on the crank. And then we just put a little bit of sort of thread lock on the back of the dowels, and that's what's happening here. I've just sort of put them in the depths I want, just put the flywheel on, and then we've got 8 dowels, just makes it a bit stronger. So that's one job that I've got out the way. The other job is this little beauty. You might recognise that. It's been sitting on the floor down here for God knows how long, about 3 months. So this is the Morris 8, the one that's had all the welding. And as you can see, I'm just halfway through boring the second bore of one of the liners. So I've managed to get the liners in here at last. Now this is the one that had all the welding on the top. And as you can see by some of the valves seats, this hasn't got inserts in there. This is just machined directly into the cast iron block. But you can see some of them there. It's had all quite extensive welding. Now this is the one that had to go back again to be welded, because by the time we'd faced the top, it had cracked in 2 or 3 areas on the center bores. So they've welded it again. Unfortunately, I had to bore it. I'd already bored it with the correct interference for the liners. So I thought, before I fit the liners, we'll send it off, get it welded. But when it came back, there was weld all over the place. It had sort of intruded on the bore. So what I had to do, face the top. I've had to set it back up this morning and clock the best I can with the cat's paws on the existing bore, which was the bore for the liners, and then machine down and clean up as best I can the weld that was overhanging the bores. Been successful. You see I've put the liners in now, all went in very nicely. They've all gone down to, they're a straight liner, but they've gone down to a step in the bottom. And now I'm just boring them basically. I'm boring them back to standard, which is 57 mil. We've got an old stock piston there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to machine the block face. Then I'm going to set it up on the mill, and I'm going to stick an end mill down these bores here, because as you can see, they're a bit small now, and I'm sort of struggling to see where the seat was. So what I'm going to do is clock off the 2 end ones. Fortunately, I've still got them on the internal, and just bore down all of them roughly and get the internal. And then I'm going to cut seats in the inlets, because the inlet seats are directly into the block face. And then on the exhaust, I'm going to unlead it. So I'm going to put some valves, hardened valve seat inserts on the exhaust. Then I'm going to fit new guides, which we have got, the customers supplied. And then once I've fitted the guides, we're going to cut all the seats. And that is this job done then. Be nice to get it out of the way. This is mini blocks of the same customer, Exeter Engineering. This one's just for a rebore. So that is then all the blocks sort of up to date. We have got our usual 3 barrels to do here for RKTV. They sort of usually pick 3 or 4 up and drop another 3 or 4 off. So I've got to do those. But then we are sort of up to date really. Isaac this morning, bless him, he's got the hang of the crank balancer. He did a crank yesterday. And that was the Jag 4.2 that he did yesterday? And he's just in the process now of balancing the crank for the 1500 pre-crossflow. Good news on the pre-crossflow. The customer's got back to us after a week, bless him. Ray, he was still unsure when he came in. He wanted to go for that sort of light blue, which is a little bit like the Massey Ferguson grey, but slightly more blue. But we've convinced him. I think with the old Fords, to be honest, you can't go too far wrong with it black and silver. So as you can see, we've done the rocker cover silver, a nice gloss silver there. We've done all the ancillary bits like the covers and that. We've done silver. It's going to have the nice gold core plugs in. We've done the head black. So I think with the black and the silver contrasting and all the nice new shiny nuts and bolts, it's going to look really nice. Oh, and plus it always looks a bit flash with the gold core plugs in at the end. So yeah, I think he's going to be really happy with that. This is going in a Capri 1500 GT. So yeah, really looking forward to that car all done when the engine's in. So yeah, top job. Right guys, so I'm just on my way down to Tintin Express to see Sam. We're just going to have a bit of what I do on most of my vehicles really, is have some PPF put on the van. So we'll probably do the whole front end, the arches, and across the back there where you sort of on the bumper where you're loading stuff in and out the back, maybe a bit on the wings, top of the roof, the usual really. Yeah, can't rate that PPF high enough really. As I said, I had all the Lambo done, had my Mercedes done, and now I'm going to get the van done, and it just saves the paint. So whenever you come to sell it or trade it in, whatever you're going to do, just means there's no stone chips or anything like that. But while I'm in the van here, I'll just take this opportunity really to tell you what I said about last week, that we've about our plans really for Barum Engines, and just to see, we're not going to go too much into detail with it, but I just want to see what you guys think about it in the comments. But what we're thinking of doing, we're in talks with our landlady at the moment to take on another unit. As a lot of you have commented in the past, that although it's nice to see a workshop like ours, a bit of sort of spit and sawdust type workshop, we do appreciate now that obviously with the YouTube channel and all the rest of it, we have got a lot busier and potentially could be even more busy, taking on some real nice work, competition and classic engines. Not only that, but we are, compared to what we were doing, and this is even just before the YouTube channel, we were doing a lot more sort of repair stuff, as in the general garage stuff, cylinder heads and what have you, and we always had 2, 3, maybe 4 engines on the go at one time. But now at the moment, we've got a stack of engines at the back of the workshop. Potentially we could have a lot more, and we've usually got sort of half a dozen or 10 sort of on the go, But what we're doing, we understand now that our workshop it's a machine shop really, and it isn't the best environment to actually build engines, especially some of these these competition ones. So our plan is, and I don't know what you guys will think about this, but we are thinking of obviously keeping our workshop. We'll keep that as a clean and machine workshop. As I said to you the other week, we are getting a vapor blaster, should be here in October time, something like that. So that would be a great addition to not just the channel, but obviously the workshop. So yeah, we're going to keep that as a machine shop. So all the engines that we do will go in there, stripped down, cleaned, blasted, machined, painted, all the rest of it. Then they will go into our new unit if we go ahead. We have sort of planned at the moment on having a sort of 30-foot squared engine build room, looking all a bit flashy. We will have, potentially we could have sort of 15, 20 engines set up in there. Everything that's cleaned and complete, as in machine wise and paint wise, will go over there ready to be built. So that means that it will leave the existing workshop for just the stripping and cleaning and blasting and what have you. The rest of the workshop then will be, we should have room for sort of 4 or 5 ramps. It's got some real nice offices, so that's food for thought, guys. We are sort of planning on that. We would like to do that, hopefully get to that stage maybe towards the end of the year or beginning of next year. But yeah, let me know what you think. As I say, it's really exciting prospect really. I would love to have somewhere that's real flashy. We'll have all the the nice new snap-on toolbox over there, and have it all a bit fancy, some nice lighting and all the rest of it. So yeah, let me know what you think on that, guys. As I say, I think it would be a great idea because the channel's growing. You know, as many of you may know, we do get revenue now for the channel. We took that into the business, but what we would like to do is use that revenue to, you know, maybe fund this new project. So yeah, let me know what you think on that, guys. So what I'll do, guys, I'll just run you through the workshop here and sort of show you what our plan is regarding the other unit and what have you. We took another couple of engines on today, and another load of engine bits has just turned up on a pallet here. So as you can see, you know, and as I said before, we're really busy, and potentially we could be a lot more busy. This is the pallet full of stuff. This is Cosworth stuff that's come from a customer of ours. I've got a feeling this is a company that's getting involved with a Sierra Cosworth. They've got a 200 block where they want the ductile iron liners fitted somewhere in there. They've got the cylinder head and a few bits and bobs. He does want a crank and a set of rods, which I've actually got in stock, I think. And then he wants us to build, maybe build the engine up or build the short motor. So we'll have a chat when that time comes to it. So we had a visit this morning from a guy called Scott from SG Motorsport Services. He's up in Wiltshire, I believe, Devizes. Been speaking to Scott via phone and email for a while now. This engine here is a trophy V6 Renault Clio. So Scott, a little bit about Scott's business. He does servicing on motorsport vehicles and what have you. He's a V6 Renault specialist. Yeah, top guy, really nice bloke. I had a good chat with him this morning. But this engine here is one that he's been threatening to bring in for a week or two. We've obviously got the go-ahead now. I think it's been apart before, he said, but it's basically breathing heavy. So I think he said that the mat weren't anything special. It was over fueling like buggery at some point. So basically this is a complete strip down. See what's going on. Hopefully the bores are good, and it's just a piston ring issue. You know, with these alley blocks, I'm not sure what liners they put in these, whether it's Nicosil or Aliasil or cast iron or what, but until I get in amongst it, obviously we'll service the heads, and he wants it all built up and looking nice. So by the time we get to this one, we should have our vapor blaster, which will be ideal really, because all this aluminium here will come up like absolute brand new. So yeah, that's one from Scott. Another one is down here. So this is a Lotus Europa engine down here. Lovely little engine this is. This one has been built previously by Ridgeway Race Engines. I think it's got to the point where it's down on oil pressure, so I don't think Scott's too sure on whether it's knocking or anything like that. So we've just got to, first things first, strip it all down and give a report, see what we find. Hopefully the crank is all okay or salvageable, and then it's just a sort of go through. I see he's supplied us here a clutch and an oil pump from SJ Sports Cars, and I said to Scott that we do all their work anyway, so they send all their machining to us. So any parts for this I shall probably be on to Steve at SJ. I've had a little bit of a sort out. We've got plenty of engines here. That's the BMW that's been sitting there, no rush on that. This E-Type is the one for the same customer as that E-Type there. We're still waiting for the block on that one, although all the other bits are done. And this one is another one from them really. So it's like they're a restoration sort of company. They do car bodies and what have you. Top guys. But these two engines here have got to look absolutely like new, because the cars are going to be something special. So that made quite a nice before and after. It'd be quite nice to do a bit of a time-lapse one on this really. We've got plenty of work. I mean, I get emails and phone calls all the time to potentially do engines and what have you, but you know, I can't take them all on. So the idea really of this new unit would be to strip down in here. We'll obviously get some more benches, get it a bit more sorted out, so we can do the stripping down here like this one is really. We get everything measured, machined, blasted. Once it's all done, machined and ready to go back together, it goes over to that unit. Big flashy engine building room with potentially sort of room to do 20 engines, and then that's going to leave us room here to strip the next one and get a bit of a production line. We thought that it would be quite nice for the channel really, you know, other than making it really practical obviously for the business. You know, we've got to the point where we either sort of stay as we were and just keep turning down work day in day out, or we expand, it'll be a lot more professional. As I say, everything that will be built will be in a nice environment. It will be good for the channel. You know, you guys will be able to see the sort of spit and sawdust side of the business, as you have been, and then, you know, how they're built in a really nice area. It'll be sort of two sides to the channel, really. It'll be great. But yeah, as I say, let us know what you think about that, guys. If all you lot agree, as I say, we can't thank you enough for subscribing and watching our videos. You know, obviously it does give us a bit of revenue that we sort of put aside, and we have sort of been planning from the word go, really, to do something like this. So yeah, it's all down to you guys, and as I say, we always listen to your advice. So if you say you don't think it's going to be a good idea, then we'll take that on board and go from there, really. But yeah, thanks a lot, guys, and let us know what you think. Well, thanks ever so much for watching, guys. See you on Friday. We've got a really good video for you Friday. But until then, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We'll see you in another one. Cheers.